You know that feeling you get when you're in a supermarket, maybe the cereal aisle, and you're staring at like 50 different colorful boxes trying to decide, and it's decision paralysis. But then, an hour later, you go to sign a new phone contract, or you pull into a gas station, and that paralysis is gone. It's replaced by something else.
Something much more suffocating. It's like the walls are just closing in.
Exactly.
You go from 50 choices down to maybe 3. And the weird part is they're all almost identical.
The price is within pennies. The service is the same. It makes you feel like the game is rigged.
Mm-hmm. Like there are these invisible giants in the room just sort of nodding at each other.
And what we're digging into today is that, well, that feeling isn't paranoia, it's economics. It's why your phone bill is so stubborn and why gas prices move like they're synchronized.
We are diving into the logic of oligopoly.
Oligopoly. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But the source we're using today, the logic of oligopoly, a game of giants, it argues this is, the defining structure of our modern economy.
And our mission here is to really decode the rules of that game.
Yeah, not just the definition, but the psychology. We want to get into the boardroom and understand why 4 different gas stations on the same corner all charge exactly $3.59.
Well, what's great about this particular source is how it focuses on the human side of it. It's less about the complex math and more about fear, really.
Fear.
Yeah, it frames the whole thing as this high-stakes standoff between a very small group of people who are all terrified of making the wrong move.
And to make that fear real, the text gives us this character, Sean.
Right.
Sean isn't some faceless corporation. He's the person, the human being, making the call on pricing. He's the one sweating in the suit, trapped in what the author calls the game of giants.
And that game is very specific. It's not the Wild West of the cereal aisle, but it's not a total monopoly either. It's this strange, tense place in the middle.
So let's lay out the landscape. The
Wow.
source is very clear on what an oligopoly is. It's a market dominated by a small number of large firms, usually, between 2 and 5?
That's the magic number.
Yeah.
2 to 5. Any more than that, and it's too hard to keep track of each other. But in that range, everybody knows everybody else's business.
And the examples are things we see every day.
Right.
Mobile communications is the big one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got, 3 main carriers in most
Yes,
places?
if you're lucky. And then aircraft manufacturing. I mean, if you run an airline, you're not exactly shopping around. You call Boeing or you call Airbus. That's the list.
And operating systems. The device you're probably listening on right now is running iOS or Android, maybe Windows. That's it. That's the entire universe of choice.
It just highlights how massive the barrier to entry is. I mean, I could decide to start selling cookies tomorrow, but I can't just wake up and decide to build a 747.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cost is astronomical, which protects the giants already in the game. But it also creates this pressure cooker for the ones inside. It's not a friendly dinner party. It's more like a dinner party where everyone is hiding a knife.
Which brings us to the core concept in the text. Interdependence. This is what keeps Sean up at night. In a normal competitive market, you don't really worry about what one other baker or farmer is doing. But in Sean's world, he can't even sneeze without the other giants noticing.
That's a perfect way to put it. His success depends entirely on how his rivals react to what he does. He has no real autonomy.
Okay, so let's play out the lemonade stand scenario from this source, because this makes the trap so clear. So you have Sean running his lemonade empire.
Right. And he's got one competitor, the other Sean.
And Sean wakes up one morning and thinks, you know what? I'm going to lower my price by 10%. I'll grab more market share.
A classic business school move. Lower price, more volume, more profit. Seems logical.
But he hesitates. He stops. Because he plays it out in his head. He knows the second he changes that price.
The other Sean is going to see it instantly. And the other Sean isn't just going to sit there and watch his customers leave.
No way.
He has to retaliate. He's forced to. So he matches the price cut.
So fast forward 24 hours. Both Seans have cut their prices by 10%. The price difference between them is 0 again. And they're both selling pretty much the same amount of lemonade as yesterday.
But for 10% less revenue, they've just made themselves and their entire industry poorer for nothing.
It's a negative-sum game. And the source has Sean's internal thought here, which is just, do I need this?
And the answer is always no.
Of course not. And that logic, that fear, is what leads to this thing the text calls sticky prices.
It's a great term. Prices in these markets they don't want to move, especially not down.
Because dropping the price is basically declaring war.
It's mutually assured destruction, but for a balance sheet. Everyone knows that in a price war, nobody wins. They just bleed money.
And here's the other side of it. Prices are sticky on the way down, but they seem to go up together quite easily.
Yes. The stickiness only really works in one direction.
And this is where, as a consumer, you get suspicious. You see every gas station on the block raise their price by 20 cents in the same afternoon, and you think, they're colluding, they made a call.
And sometimes they do. But usually, the source argues it's something a bit more subtle. It's the difference between illegal collusion and something called price leadership.
Okay, let's break that down. The text introduces the alpha Sean.
Right. In almost any oligopoly, one firm is the biggest, the most dominant, that's the alpha. And all the other beta Seans just watch the alpha like a hawk.
So the alpha decides, okay, costs are up, I want more profit, whatever, I'm raising the price. They make the first move, they stick their neck out.
And this is the key moment. The other firms, they could hold their prices steady and try to steal customers. But they don't.
They don't. What do?
The Thor says they let out a sigh of relief.
A sigh of relief. That's amazing. So they were basically just waiting for someone else to have the guts to do it first.
Exactly. They see the alpha's move as a green light. It's permission to raise their own prices without starting a war. It's a survival tactic to protect everyone's profits.
It's like unspoken coordination. I go, you go. And since it all happens out in the open, with public price changes, it's very hard for regulators to prove it's an illegal conspiracy.
Right? It's called parallel conduct. It looks and smells like a conspiracy, but legally it's just firms intelligently adapting to market signals.
But the source does get into the darker side of this. It talks about dangerous liaisons. It talks about cartels.
Yeah, this is where the temptation just gets too strong. Sometimes the Seans get tired of all the guessing and the stress. They just want to guarantee.
The classic prisoner's dilemma.
Precisely. They think, why are we doing this dance? Let's just secretly agree to keep the price high, split the market, and we all get rich. It removes all the stress of competition.
And while that's super illegal almost everywhere, the incentive is just, it's huge. Billions of dollars on the table for a handshake or, an encrypted text message these days.
And history is full of examples. Cartels for vitamins, for computer screens, you name it. The companies do it because the alternative is so exhausting. But the penalties, when they get caught, are massive.
So if we look at the picture so far, lowering prices is suicide. Raising prices is a game of follow the leader.
It's a deadlock, a stalemate on price.
Oh, okay. But then why, when I turn on my TV, do I see a million ads from these very companies? Mobile carriers screaming about their networks, airlines promising a better experience. If they're not fighting on price, what are they fighting about?
Well, this brings in the final character in the story, Annie.
Annie, the consumer, the one with the money.
Exactly. And even though the prices are the same, Sean still needs Annie to choose his lemonade. So since he can't use price, he has to engage in non-price warfare.
Non-price warfare. I love that term. It sounds so dramatic, but really it's just marketing, right?
It's the art of creating a difference where no meaningful difference exists. And the source is pretty funny about this, listing the ways companies try to distract Annie.
Oh, the examples are perfect. The first one was gasoline with vitamins.
Yep, gasoline with vitamins.
I mean, what does that even mean? My car's engine doesn't have an immune system. But I get the logic. If two stations charge the same price, one of them needs a tiebreaker.
It's about making your products seem different, harder to compare. If you just sell gas, you're a commodity. But if you sell Ultra Clean 9000 with engine vitamins, suddenly you're a premium brand, even if it's basically the same liquid.
It just creates this fog so Annie can't do a direct price comparison. Now she has to wonder about the value of these invisible vitamins.
Right. Or look at the other ones, like cashback offers, loyalty points.
The loyalty programs, those are just golden handcuffs, aren't they?
They're designed to make it costly for you to switch. If I have a ton of miles with one airline, I'm probably not going to fly with another one to save 20 bucks on a single ticket. I'm trapped. They've successfully taken price out of my decision.
And the last example is my favorite because it's so true. The tastiest coffee at the gas station.
The pivot to the customer experience.
It works, though. I've definitely driven past a cheaper, dingier station to go to the one with the clean bathroom and the better snacks.
And that's Sean's victory right there. He shifted the fight. He's not fighting a price war over fuel, which would kill his profits. He's fighting a war over the quality of his coffee and his beef jerky.
It's a battle for our attention, not for our, for the best value on the core product.
Or it's a battle to redefine what value even is. Sean wants you to value the experience because the product itself is a dead end for profit.
It really changes how you see those ads. When a phone company offers me a free streaming service, I used to think, oh, that's a nice perk. Now I see it's just a distraction. It's a bribe to keep me from looking too closely at the monthly bill.
A very rational, very expensive distraction.
Yeah.
They're spending millions on those deals to avoid losing billions in a price war.
So let's just recap this whole game. It's a logic built on fear. You've got this closed club, the landscape of giants. You've got the trap of interdependence, which leads to sticky prices because no one wants to start a race to the bottom.
Right.
Then you have price leadership, that silent dance of raising prices together.
Or the illegal cartel, if they get sloppy.
And then, because price is off the table, you have this whole illusion of competition.
The non-price warfare.
Yeah.
The fight over vitamins and coffee, because fighting over the actual price is too risky.
And once you see that framework, you see it everywhere.
You can't unsee it. Every major purchase, every contract, you're looking at the result of this stalemate.
It does leave you with a pretty big question, though. We're taught that competition is what drives capitalism, that rivalry is supposed to push costs down. But in these huge parts of our economy, telecom, energy, travel, that whole mechanism feels paralyzed?
Paralyze is a good word for it. The system is very efficient for the companies. It gives them stable, predictable profits. But is it efficient for Annie, the consumer? Probably not.
So I guess the thought to leave everyone with is this. Next time you're out there and you see two giant brands with identical prices, just ask yourself, if all the Seans in the world are logically trapped in a game where competing on price makes them poorer, is what you're seeing, really, competition.
Or is it just a performance, a pageant?
Are you actually choosing the best product, or are you just choosing the one with the best marketing team and the tastiest gas station coffee? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the game of giants.
My pleasure.
Keep an eye on those price tags. We'll see you next time.